Hello, this is Corey Gerard coming back at you from Monster Wars, and I got another epic iconic battle between Darth Vader and the Borg Queen. So, the scene now begins inside of the core worlds of the Galactic Empire. We then follow the scene to a gray sky storming planet, which is then seen approaching the world's surface. Now a dark fortress building is seen, and it belongs to Darth Vader. We then get closer and see that androids are outer stationed here. Now we go inside of this scary home and receive a quick guided tour. More androids are then seen working key areas of this facility. It seems that this is one of the Dark Lord's getaway retreats. Now the scene is quickly moving to an assembly room, and three dark droids appear to be overseeing a project in there. Now a wall of weapons is shown, and all types appear on display. Then all of a sudden the scene goes outside, and a white Imperial shuttle is now seen landing. Next the ramp door opens, and Darth Vader is shown walking down. Then Lord Vader's loud breathing is heard as he walks toward the main fortress entrance. The shuttle door is then seen closing, and this little ship lifts back up. Now two armed security droids are seen greeting Darth Vader as he proudly approaches. We now hear the droids say, "Welcome, Lord Vader. We serve your stay." The Dark Lord then nods his head in reply and proceeds past them. The scene then goes to a high sky view, and time is seen passing from day to night. Now the scene goes inside of the well-lit fortress, and we arrive in Vader's private chamber. He is then seen sitting inside of a seating attachment. We now see many long mechanical devices working on Vader's armor. Then a mechanical grip is seen removing the Sith Lord's helmet. Then the scene quickly returns outside of the fortress, and a dark shuttlecraft is now seen descending. The ship doesn't appear Imperial because it doesn't match any known registry. We then see 5 security droids look up at its slow descension. This alien ship appears to have a spiral lighting system around its spear saucer shape. Then 2 of the 5 security droids approach this ship as seen doing so. Now we see the shuttle door open and a dark figure comes out. The 2 droids then are seen moving in a little closer. Now this shadowy figure is shown walking in closer, and the 2 droids act confused. These killer droids are then seen pointing their blasters at the stranger. One droid is now heard replying, "Stop where you are or certain doom awaits." Now this mysterious hooded replies, "Yes, the embodiment of doom is what I seek." A woman's voice is then clearly heard. We then see this hooded lady aim her right hand at the droids as she presses a wrist button with the other. Then the 2 droids appear shaken as she shoots them with a droid controller ray. We then see the other 3 droids quickly rush over, and they too receive the same treatment. Now all 5 droids appear under control because they are then seen replying, "We serve you now." So it appears that her controller allows her to control all machinery. Now this strange lady is seen removing her hood and shows that she is the powerful Borg Queen. She is then seen replying, "So let's now proceed." And then the Borg Queen is shown walking towards the fortress. The 5 security droids soon follow her there, as seen doing so. We then see Vader's large fortress slide door open, and then the Queen enters with robotic companions. Now we quickly return to Lord Vader's private chamber as a visitor roams his house. Darth Vader is then seen without his helmet and mask. It now appears that he is meditating because his eyes are shown closed. We then watch the scene move in closer to this very terrifying figure, and then a viewer screen is seen directly in front of Vader. Then all of a sudden, Vader is shown opening his eyes. He is now seen replying, "So we have an intruder." Darth Vader then looks up at his helmet and mask, which are then seen hanging just above his head. The mask attachments appear to be active because they are now heard. So Vader is seen signaling the attachments down. Then all of a sudden, the Borg Queen appears on Vader's front viewer, and the Dark Lord now appears surprised. Now, the mask and helmet freezes in thin air. Darth Vader then speaks to her by replying, "What fool dares this intrusion upon my fortress?" Then the Borg Queen is seen smiling as she says, "You'll find that out soon enough, lost child, and the only fool here is the one that limits his potential." Then Darth Vader's exposed face is seen making an angry look, and then he stands up in his seating chamber. Now all of a sudden, Vader repair gadgets are shown turning against him as the Queen uses them to trap the Dark Lord. These 4 long repair arms are then seen locking Vader's legs and arms. We then see Darth Vader reply, "You disrespect woman will not go unpunished." Or "Your disrespect, woman, will not go unpunished." The Dark Lord is speaking in a softer tone because he isn't wearing his mask with the speech amplifier. Then, all of a sudden, Vader's chamber door slides open and we see the Borg Queen come in. Her image on the viewer screen then disappears as she is seen turning off a hollow face reflector, which projected her through Vader's viewer. Now the Queen walks in front of Lord Vader and is now shown replying, "Oh, I'm much more than a woman, my lost child." Then Vader is seen saying, "Yes, but I am more than your comprehension allows." Now Darth Vader shows another angry expression as his chamber ground shakes. The Borg Queen then shows a shocked expression. Now Darth Vader calls upon the dark side and throws the Borg Queen into his forward viewer. He is next seen breaking the repair gadgets that hold him. The Dark Lord is angrier than ever, as shown by crushing them apart with his mind powers. Then the Borg Queen quickly gets to her feet. It seems that her new bionic exo body has made her very powerful. We then see her extend her right arm in front of a freed Vader. Now the Queen is shown activating controller beams again. Then we see Darth Vader struggle with his own machinery as the Queen's controller rays affect his body mechanics. Darth Vader then falls into his meditation seat, and then we see everything go black. Now the scene comes to life again, and we see Anakin Skywalker awakening from a sleep. His face appears to have a curious expression as he is seen rubbing his face. Anakin has a beard and a mustache now, as if the horrible incident never happened on Mustafar. Now this apparent Jedi Master gets up and walks into the family room. He then strolls over to a large mirror which stands at the left end. Then Anakin appears to be looking at a stranger because he has not seen this form in a long time. We then see this relived person laughed, just as a few birds are seen in the Naboo sky. These singing birds floated past a near window. Now Anakin is shown suddenly turning and replies, "Padme, maybe my Padme is here." Then the new improved Anakin proceeds to walk out onto a big porch. Beautiful Naboo waters are then seen surrounding this country home. Now Padme is seen with a little girl who appears to be 10 years old. We then see Anakin make a happy look on this pretty day now. The happy Jedi Master begins to walk towards his family as Padme faces away from him, but he can clearly see his little girl's face next to her puffed hair mother. Then Anakin is seen replying, "You were right, Padme. Jedis do have nightmares." Now the lady is shown turning to face Anakin, and she's really the Borg Queen. Now the Borg Queen says, "Do you mean nightmares like this one?" We then see Anakin's happy expression turn into a shocked, sad one. He is then heard saying, "No, no, you invaded my thoughts." Now we see the little girl disappear as the Queen replies, "Yes, but soon our thoughts will be as one, Darth Vader." Now Anakin is seen crouching down with his hands over his eyes. Then Anakin looks at the Borg Queen, who's now seen in her true cyborg form. He then asked, "What are you?" So we see her reply, "Why, I am the Borg, the one and the many." Then all of a sudden, the scene gets very dark around them. Anakin then charges the Queen, and she is seen putting up a blocking force field. Now the Master Jedi falls back while still wearing his former wear. Now Anakin looks around and asks, "Where are we?" So the Borg Queen is seen saying, "Why, this is your world, Anakin, but my interface allows me to enter." Now Anakin is seen replying, "My world, you mean my mind." We then see the Queen respond with a smile, and she replies, "Your mind limits in perceptive scope, but I can offer you an infinite picture." Now Anakin appears very angry as he responds, "And I will repay you with infinite pain." Then Anakin quickly uses the dark side to mind merge into the Queen, and she is shown crouching in pain. Anakin then walks closer to her as he mind rips the Queen. Then the Queen suddenly breaks her interface by pressing a wrist button. Now the scene appears to be changing fast, and things quickly go black again. The scene then returns to Vader's private chamber, and we see the Queen sitting on the Sith Lord's lap. She now appears to have both palm scanners on Vader's temples. Then all of a sudden, Vader and her are seen waking up from their interface sleep. Now Vader is seen making an angry growl as he looks into the Queen's eyes. Then Darth Vader throws the Borg Queen far off of his lap, and she is now seen hitting a side wall. A shield clear energy bubble had formed around her head, and it protected her from the impact. Now Darth Vader is seen in his chair as his helmet and mask attaches to his head. Then a loud, scary breath is heard from the Sith Lord. Now Darth Vader leaps out of his meditation chair and uses the dark side to throw heavy broken machinery at her. We then see the Queen quickly activate speed sensors which allow her fast movements. She is then seen quickly evading those pieces of metal. Now the Borg Queen is seen activating twin Gatling blasters that formed around her wrists. Then Lord Vader quickly grabs his lightsaber and is now shown deflecting her blaster fire. The Queen then shoots Vader in the chest twice, and he appears to be briefly shaken. The Dark Lord then calls upon the dark side and crushes her blaster weapons. We then see Vader throw her into tall ceilings by hand gesturing a dark side command. Luckily, her shield was still active because it provided protection again. Vader is then seen looking up as the Borg Queen falls down. Now Darth Vader is shown staring at her with his ignited lightsaber in hand. We now see him reply, "Now you will further dread your unwanted visit." Then the cybernetic Borg Queen is seen expressing an angry look as she gets to her feet. Then the mad Dark Lord charges at her, so she quickly activates glowing wrist shielding. Now Vader swings deadly strikes as the Borg Queen proceeds to block them away. Then the Dark Lord reaches in and grabs the Queen around her neck, but her bubble shield prevents him from getting through. We then see the Borg Queen use an arm wraparound that knocks Vader's laser sword to the ground. Now Darth Vader uses the dark side to pick the Borg Queen up. She is then seen hanging in mid-air and suddenly spins around fast. We then see Lord Vader ball up a fist which breaks her head bubble shield. Darth Vader then quickly lowers her to him until they are making eye contact. The Borg Queen is then seen replying, "Although you are Borg, you reject a mother which brings order." Then Vader is shown responding, "A mother that apparently lacks the skill to enforce such an order." Now Vader is seen probing the Queen's mind while he still floats her with the dark side. We then see him reply, "So you like to play mind games? Well then, let's try this one." Now the Borg Queen is shown looking nervous as Vader sends a dark side illusion into her mind. Then all of a sudden the scene goes inside of the Borg Queen's mind. Then she is seen screaming as this Lady Borg falls down a bottomless pit. Then suddenly again the scene changes and the Borg Queen is shown in many pieces. She now appears to be on an assembly line with nothing seen to reconnect her. We then see a fire furnace appear at the end of this line assembly. It seemed to just appear out of nowhere. Now the Queen's body pieces are shown heading to those flames. The Borg Queen's consciousness then tries to escape Vader's trap, but by quickly throwing her parts away from the fire. All of a sudden, we see her on the floor. Then suddenly the Queen uses telekinesis and reassembles herself. We then see her close both eyes and yells, "No, I don't believe this." Then the Queen awakes from Lord Vader's illusion as the Dark Lord is shown with his force hold still on her. Now Darth Vader is heard replying, "You escaped my mind trap, but how?" Now the Queen is seen responding in anger while Vader holds her with the dark side. She then says, "Because I'm not some weak-minded woman that you can abuse." Now the Queen looks over at the entrance door and suddenly the 5 guard droids speed in. These droids are now shown aiming blasters at Vader, so he quickly drops the Queen and faces them. Then the droids fire on their Dark Master, but Vader quickly builds a 2-handed force field in front of himself. Now the droid blasters are seen deflecting onto the walls. We then see the Borg Queen activate a super bionic enhancer within her body. Now illuminated muscle fibers are shown growing on her fast. Then we watch Lord Vader throw those guard droids around the room, but they appear to be very tough. Then the Dark Lord points his left hand like a gun and makes the droids shoot themselves to bits. It seems the dark side is working well for this Sith Lord now. Then Vader quickly turns to face an angry attacking Queen who appears to have taken him by surprise. Now the Queen quickly grabs Vader and throws him into a side wall. He is then seen hitting it hard. Then the Borg Queen speeds over to him and picks Vader up again. She is now shown replying, "You think you can treat a queen this way?" and suddenly throws him into the opposite wall. Lord Vader's armor is tough as well because it shielded him from both impacts. We then see Vader act a bit shaken up as the Queen slowly approaches him. She is now seen making a very confident smile because her super tech is working fine. Now, Lord Vader stands to his feet, so the Borg Queen rips his heavy chair up and then she throws it at him. Now the Dark Lord is shown quickly avoiding it, but his flying chair slams into the wall. Darth Vader then lands on the floor and uses the dark side to make 3 blaster arms fire at the Queen. Those android arms are then seen blasting away. So the Borg Queen turns and receives repeated hits to her front. Lord Vader then sees his lightsaber on the floor and mentally lifts it into the air. Then Vader ignites it with the dark side and is shown flying into the Queen's side. Now Lord Vader is seen getting to his feet, and then the Borg Queen turns to face the Dark Menace. We then see her pull his lightsaber from her wounded side as she pains in a weak condition. Now Lord Vader is shown replying, "I think that weapon belongs to me," and his sword suddenly leaves her grip. Vader then catches it and now appears to be in a victorious mood. Then Darth Vader walks up to his hurt foe and cuts her face with his saber blade. The Queen then responds by saying, "Why, you dirty circuit spawn of nothing." So Lord Vader lets out a devious laugh. He then replies, "Your technology is most admirable, so I'll add it to my very being." Now the Queen appears to be in shock. We then see her reply, "No, this belongs to me, all of it, even that which covers your flesh." Lord Vader then turns off his lightsaber and says, "But only because it proved most formidable." We then see the Borg Queen activate a transporter which quickly beams her out of Vader's fortress. Then Vader is seen swinging his lightsaber at her transporter, but she had already gotten away. Now the Queen is shown beaming into her spacecraft. The ship's lighting system then turns on. Now the Queen is seen replying, "It seems extensive body repairs are needed," as repair gadgets attach to her body. Then we see her sit down and say, "Computer, activate the dimensional time field." Then her ship is seen on the outside while it lifts into the air. We then return back inside of her vessel and see her looking at a multiversal display. Now many bubble universes are displayed on this ship's viewer. Now the Borg Queen is heard saying, "Let's try this one," and then a universe is shown highlighted. The repair gadgets now detach from her because her bodily repairs only took a couple of minutes. These repair things are then shown floating away from her. We then see the Queen's ship enter outer space and 3 Star Destroyers are seen on an approach. Then suddenly the Borg Queen appears surprised. It seems these Imperial cruisers have taken her by surprise. Now we see the Borg Queen say, "Maybe the Cylons will be more appreciative than that Darth Vader." Her ship then enters a trans-dimensional gateway as seen doing so. The end. So this is Corey Gerard coming back at you from Monster World Wars, and this concludes the episode. Thank you for tuning in.